All right, welcome back to another video. In this video, we will be covering trend lines. We'll be covering how to draw them and a way to use them to enter and exit the trades, but we will not be solo using them alone to enter and exit trades. Of course, by the end of the course, I will put all my strategies together and show you how I enter my trades, my thought process, and everything I'm thinking when I do this. So without further ado, let's go ahead, hop into these charts, draw these trend lines up, and get y'all ready. Real quick, if you're looking for a new broker or looking for a broker in general, try Liquid Brokers, my favorite broker. They have low spreads starting from zero. They have cheap commission fees. They're a regulated broker as well, so your money is protected. And they have different chartings that you can use in whatever best fits your trading style. Fast withdrawals, fast deposits, whatever you want. So yeah, check out Liquid Brokers. All right. So for trend lines, you may see people who will draw a trend line like this, right? So when you draw the trend line, typically you're looking at it to bounce off and keep pushing up in the uptrend. Going that way, of course, is an uptrend. What I'm looking for when I draw this trend line is a touch here, and then the higher low touch. So once I have this touch, I see a higher low touch. Also, I see the higher high break the previous highs. And then I have a higher low breaking the previous lows. Then I draw my trend line from there to that first higher high, higher low. And then I leave it at that. Or, you stretch it across. And this is an uptrend example. So once I have those 2 points, I draw my trend line. Typically, what I am looking for is a come down, a touch, and then a push back off of it. Or a come down, touch, push back off of it, come down, touch, something. If it breaks through, that means the trend is going to change. So, or it's supposed to change. It doesn't happen all the time. Let me not say gonna change. It's just signifying it's signaling a trend change that could possibly happen. So here we get a breakthrough, push down, come up, we touched on it, and then we started pushing down. Also, if you already watched the market structure video, I want to point this out to you. We also came down, we broke this higher low and we created a lower low. We even broke this higher low and we created a lower low, and then we created a lower high. We pushed down, we created a lower low, and then we pushed back up and created a higher high. If you look to the left right here, it fell right back into that previous low. And the trend line adds up right there. So those are two confluences. So now you see you're starting to see how the market structure and the trend line work together. So if I would have seen that could have been a possible confluence to take a short position to the downside. It would have been a quick short, but I am a scalper, I am teaching scalping. So a quick short is what we need. But I just want to point that out. I just seen that. I want to point that out. Now, let me look for a trend line to the downside. So even here, I'll go from here since that's the first leg that broke. So we have a trend line going to the downside. I see a touch here. Actually, I like this one better because you even get a mini trend in there. So we get a trend line going to the downside. Come in, touch. It broke a bit, but it didn't break too much. As you see, it kind of flattened out and it's in this previous low area here. I'm not convinced to take a buy, and that's why we combine like market structure with trend lines. I see this here, and then I see a push back to the downside. I would have taken a trade just because I see us off this previous low. I see us bouncing off this trend line, and I see us creating a market structure going to the downside. So you get this push to the downside, and then you get a break, go sideways a bit. Kind of did a little bit of consolidation, but you have a slow uptrend here. Every trend is not going to be fast paced or not going to be fast at all. So if we draw the trend line we had a second ago, usually when I see this break here, and then I see it come down, I see a retest of this one, another signal to either buy or sell, whichever way it's going. But you see the trend line to the downside, it goes through, bounces off, and then just drops dramatically. Now, that's one way to use it. If you have the market structure break, you draw the trend line to the downside. That's one way to use it as a like a rubber band type thing. So if it bounces off of it, you can look for a short. Now, another way to use the trend line is if you get a break of the trend line, check the market structure to the upside. Check and see if you got a trend line going to the upside. Also, there's other confluences to check, which I'm going to get into, but not in this video. We're just learning about trend lines. But check the, once you get the break, check the market structure, check if you get a bounce, and then that can signal a possible trend change. And you can use that once it breaks and you get the confluences to actually enter a buy position on the downtrend to try to catch the reversal of the trend. Also, these work on any time frame as well. So whether you're on a 5-minute, 4-hour, daily, whatever you choose, whatever type of trading you choose to do, it works on any time frame. Let's go to a different pair actually. I found a slight trend line here. So downtrend trend line, because we have a touch here, we have a high, and then we break structure, the previous structure here. We come up and we create a lower high here. So now I have my 2 points. I have my first point, now I have my second point here. I draw my trend line, and on the second point, we push back down off not only the trend line, but structure to the left as well. So we push back down, come up, bounce off the trend line, push back down again. And then we finally get a break in the trend line, but it's not a strong break. So this would not have been enough to make me say, let me buy, because we got a break in the trend line. It is a good note to take, but it's not what's gonna make me make the decision to buy. Yeah, we get a break in the trend line, so essentially you start looking for the reversal in the trend. But make sure you combine all your confluences before you take any trades. Don't depend on one confluence to take a trade. Actually, we can do this trend here. We'll do a trend line to the upside where this one went down. We'll do one going up. So we get a slow rise here. We get the first point here. We get higher high, higher low. I draw my trend line. Once I draw my trend line, I see structure breaks here and pushes to the upside. We also get a retrace here. This retrace goes into the previous market structure over here. Watch the videos as many times as you need to. Go in and practice these videos as I make the videos as well. But we get it here, we bounce up, push off, and then as soon as I get a break of structure, and then I get my second point, this is my first point. Once I get the break of structure, the break of structure is what's going to be considered my first point, why I draw my first point. Once I draw that first point and I get that break of structure, I'm looking for the second point to get up. I'm typically looking for it to fall into the previous structure and start rejecting like it did here. All you see is a wick. So once it starts rejecting, I get my second point, and typically I could have took a short off of that, or I could even took a long off of this once it bounced back, retraced, and pushed up. So that's the basics of trend lines. Once I start putting the whole strategy together, you'll understand more about it. I will reference another video on trend lines just in case you want to take a second look and second perspective at it. It will be in a link in the description or the bio, not the bio, in the description, or I will pin it in a comment somewhere. But we're going to go to the next video. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. That's pretty much the basics of trend lines. Again, ask me questions in the comments. I try my best to answer them. And I will see y'all in the next video.